Today we're going to talk about the topic of submissiveness. And this is a topic that has a lot of charge and might be controversial for a lot of people. But what I want to do is dig underneath why so many men in the world of masculinity value dominant submissive dynamics, as well as why so many people in the world of feminism are against the concept of dominant and submissive dynamics. And what we'll do is we might even redefine the word submissiveness to allow it to be more accurate to what we actually want in relationships and take away some of the negativity around it. So, how a lot of people define dominant and submissive dynamics, I think there's other words we can use for it, right? It can be one person is the leader and the other is the follower. One person is the vision and the other is the support, right? One person is the rule setter. The other is compliant. That one might be a little controversial, but that's okay. All in all, opposites attract. I was born in the 80s and I was always told opposites attract, and that's real. When you have two cooks in the kitchen, two people leading in relationship, it never works. So who's the one who leads, the man or the woman? I don't think that's for us as humans to decide. I believe it's in our biology that we as men grow stronger, more peaceful, more loving when we lead. Women grow stronger, more peaceful, more loving when they surrender and let go of leadership and control. For the sake of this video, I'm going to use the terminology of the leader and the support, because the word dominant and submissive, because of porn, because of movies, now has a connotation. And let's talk about that connotation for a minute. In the world of feminism, in the world of feminists, in the world of people who are against traditional relationships, against traditional values, they look at the words dominant and submission and they think of it as bad, violent, oppressive. And I can see why, because of the charge of the words. Right? There are women out there who are physically abused. There are women out there who are emotionally abused. There are women out there, especially 1 decade, 2 decades, 3 decades ago, who did not have free will, who were somewhat of a victim to their circumstances with an oppressive man. That has existed. Let's not deny its existence. Is it the majority of men and women? No, it's not the majority. Especially in 2025, it is the wee minority. But it exists, and we have to acknowledge that. And we have to acknowledge that it was more of a majority decades ago. So, people in the world of feminism, anti-masculinity, using the words toxic masculinity, all of that, they believe that dominant, submissive dynamics is oppressive. It's worse for the woman. It's one person being the slave, another person being the slave driver, the master. Sure, in play, it can be that. But why is it that so many men and women desire dominant and submissive dynamics? Maybe it can be something that's more and deeper than something that's violent, something that's oppressive. Maybe it's actually a need and a necessity for women and men if done in the right way. So, I'm the first person who is against violence, who is against oppression, who is against anyone being the power holder and then one person being the victim or not in peace or not in their power. No. Man, woman, both have to be consensual. Man, woman, both have to be in their power. Man, women, both have to have their mental health and personal power increased by being in relationship with the other. That's the mission I'm on. For men to be more in their power and their mental peace, for women to be more in their power, their safety, and their mental peace. So the feminist view of things is that all leader, follower, visionary support dynamics are oppressive. And that's false. That is false. That's just a story that's created from a few bad apples, a few bad seeds, where a man was abusive, a woman was victim to that abuse, and now all masculinity is toxic. That is false. Let me reframe it for you. I have been studying the biology of masculine nature and feminine nature for about 10 years now. And the way I look at it is to really look, what are the characteristics that men need from women and women need from men to make us feel peaceful, to make us feel safe, to make us feel satisfied and fulfilled in relationship. And dominant submissive, or as we'll call it here, leader and support dynamics, are part of that positive mental health for both men and women. The feminine nature needs to feel led. The feminine nature is a nature that is in its body. It's not in its mind. The feminine nature feels, right? This is why women are emotional, because they feel everything. This is why women are really good at intuition, because they feel everything. Women were designed to feel, to be in the moment, to be in their body, to feel their instincts, to feel their emotions, and to flow in the moment, not to lead, to make decisions, to have discipline. Those are more masculine characteristics. I can't tell you the number of women I have met who have told me, you're so right. And the number of women I've dated who've told me, thank you. Thank you for not making me think. Thank you for not making me stress over a decision. Thank you for not making me have to ruminate and figure it out. Thank you for allowing me to just be in the moment, feel, trust that you can lead, and I will go to a better place in my mental health, in my emotional health through your leadership. It's the feminine nature to surrender control. It's the feminine nature to surrender to leadership. However, that leadership needs to be a trustable leadership with an integrity, right? Not an abusive leadership, not a selfish leadership, not a me first, my needs and not your needs, right? If a man is leading, if a man is dominant and the woman is submissive, the man must be in integrity. So many people in the red pill world, so many people in the world of pro-masculinity, which I am, pro-masculine and feminine, I believe that when we're aligned to our nature as men and women is when we're happiest and most fulfilled. People in the opposite of feminism space, the red pill space, the pro-masculinity space, see the value in these dynamics because it fulfills a man's core biological need to lead those who are more vulnerable, to make decisions, to build, to create a vision, to execute on that vision, and to lead and protect others more vulnerable than them. That's a man's masculine nature. A woman's feminine nature, like I discussed a minute ago, is to feel the moment, to be in their emotions, to live in their heart, and to feel, not to have to plan, think, and make decisions. Those two things coming together, a man's leadership and a woman's letting go, is what makes relationships work, is what makes men feel like they can build, lead, guide, be in their power. And women feel like they can trust a man's leadership, continue to empower him, and continue to get the value of his strength, his masculinity, and his leadership. Unfortunately, the feminist movement has put all these negative connotations, taking the small percentage of people who use masculine, feminine dynamics, dominant, submissive dynamics, the small percentage who've abused it, who've treated women like shit. Those guys should go to jail. The women who are abused by men do not ever deserve that. But that doesn't mean all dominant, submissive dynamics, all leadership support dynamics are that. Leadership support dynamics are healthy and necessary in a relationship. So what's the difference here? What's the difference between the two illustrations I put out there for you? One is dominant, submissive leadership support dynamics, which are abusive, which are one person in control and the other person the victim, which are one person fulfilled, the other person unfulfilled. The difference between that and the healthy version, which is a man leading with integrity and a woman dropping into her femininity, allowing him to lead, allowing him to take her to better pastures through logic, through intelligence, through vision, and allow her to just rest into her heart and her emotionality, her human design. What's the difference between these two things? The abusive leader support dynamic and the healthy leader support dynamic. Think about it for a moment. What is the difference? The difference is a woman's self-worth. When a woman is in her self-worth, this dynamic becomes healthy. When a woman is going into such dynamic from a lack of self-worth, that's where it can be very unhealthy, right? What do I mean by self-worth? Self-worth is a compass that femininity women with feminine energy were given, which is to be able to instinctually understand whether someone's leadership is trustworthy or not, to instinctually understand whether someone's leadership is in integrity or not, to understand whether someone's character is good or not. Those are gifts that women were given to feel instinctually. That's part of a woman's nature. And when a woman is connected with that nature, she can always sense when a man's leadership is trustworthy. She senses it immediately. This isn't a thought process. This isn't a talk to your friends, go to therapy. This is an instinct that women were born with. Not all women are connected with that instinct, but the ones who are truly in their feminine, they'll feel, okay, this man is out of integrity. I'm not going his direction. I'm not going on a date with him. I'm not going to let him lead. I'm going to just go away and find someone who can lead me with integrity. Women with a positive self-worth can feel this man is trustworthy, this man is integrity, this man's going to lead me to good places. So I'm going to surrender control, surrender the mind, rest into my heart, rest into my femininity. And I can't tell you the number of women I have talked to, all they want in their life is to find a man where she can have these leadership support dynamics, these masculine, feminine dynamics, and she can just live in her heart, her playfulness, her femininity, and her emotions. That is also dominant submissive dynamics, but that's a healthy version. So the difference between unhealthy, dominant submissive, masculine feminine dynamics, and healthy, dominant submissive, masculine and feminine dynamics, the difference is a woman's self-worth. I just described to you what a woman with positive self-worth looks like. What does a woman who does not have self-worth look like? That is a woman who will do anything to get a man's attention, who will be whoever she needs to be to please a man, whether it's in alignment with her values and her personality or out of alignment with her values and her personality. A woman who's lacking self-worth is going to say, I'll do whatever you want me to do, but not feel into whether it feels good to her or not. She'll say, tell me what to do and I'll do it. I just want to make you happy. Whoever I need to be, whatever I need to do. I don't know how to feel how I feel about it, so I'm just going to be whatever I need to be for you. Whether it's hurtful, whether it's toxic, whether it's abusive, it doesn't matter. I'll do it. That's a woman lacking in her self-worth. And she needs to heal that, right? As a man, I would not want to date that type of woman because even though she'll give me everything I want from my ego, I know that she will resent me one day. She will get hurt from this one day because she doesn't have the capabilities, the agency to understand how she feels and what she needs. And if a woman doesn't know how she feels, how can she give you the best? How can she give you love? How can she give you passion? How can she give you emotionality? She's just saying, I'm going to say yes because I don't want to lose you. I'm going to say yes because I don't want to lose this attention. I'm going to say yes because I don't want to lose this validation. So if a woman is saying yes to everything because she doesn't want to lose you, because she doesn't want to lose the validation from you, that's unhealthy. And trust me, it's unhealthy for her, and it's going to be unhealthy for you as a man, because her love is not going to be authentic. It's going to be an obligation. Because her yes is not going to be authentic, it's going to be an obligation. Because her following your lead is not going to be a full body yes, it's going to be an obligation. You want a woman who's a full body yes. So a woman who has her self-worth, who's connected with her feelings, connected with her emotions, connected with what feels good to her and what feels bad to her, that's a healthy woman connected with her healthy femininity. And that type of woman can stand to gain from masculine and feminine dynamics, from dominant and submissive dynamics, where her man is the leader, to lead her to a great life, to provide financially, to make decisions, to plan trips. While she knows that he has good intentions for her, she feels the trust in him, and then she can let go, dig deeper into her heart, feel deeper into her emotions, feel into her sensuality and her sexuality, and share these things with her man. That is a win-win. So instead of going down the feminist route of a few really horrible human beings abused women, and now all masculinity, all leadership follower dynamics are bad, and instead of going down the opposite route, that every man is a man of integrity and all women should follow men no matter what, both of those are not right. There's something in the middle. That's a man who's connected with his masculine self-worth. He's willing to lead, speak his truth, own his power, but do it with integrity, with understanding his woman's needs, with understanding his woman's vulnerability, and making sure he protects her heart and protects her vulnerability. That's the type of man who should be leading in dominant dynamics. The type of woman should be a healed woman who can feel into her heart, feel her self-worth, feel when she's being led in the right way and when she's being led in the wrong way. And even though she might not be able to make sense of it, she's not going to set a boundary or a limit, but she's going to feel that something is off. That type of woman can hold the man who's leading her accountable. When he's leading her in the wrong way, she can express how it doesn't feel good to her, and he'll know he's leading her in the wrong way. If he's leading her in the right way, she continues to surrender. She continues to let go of control. She continues to let him lead and follow his leadership and trust his leadership. That is healthy. So men, don't let anyone in the world of feminism tell you that masculine and feminine dynamics are toxic, that leadership support dynamics. Any healthy, compatible relationship has one leader and one support. And it's healthy if the man is leading his vision of the world, his vision of the family, his vision of life, and a woman who aligns with that vision follows, supports, and aligns to his vision. That is healthy. So men, allow yourself to find healthy feminine women who know their self-worth, who desire a man who can lead her in life, mentally, financially, in decisions, so she can relax into her emotions and live in her heart. But then you also, men, have to be that man who does it with integrity, who accounts for her needs and her vulnerabilities more than you account for yours. A true, healthy, masculine and feminine leadership dynamic is where the man is leading and making decisions, but consulting with his woman, consulting with her feelings and emotions around everything, and making a decision that's good for him individually and good for her individually and good for the relationship as a whole. If you're a man who can always be looking at, my decision is going to be what's good for me, what's good for her, and what's good for us, you're going to have a healthy relationship with healthy leadership support dynamics. If you're a woman, it's really important that you feel into your ability to be in your heart, to be in your emotions, to be in your instinctual, intuitive senses, and trust a man, fully open your heart to a man, fully surrender control to a man who earns that trust. So all in all, hopefully what you take from this video is that masculine and feminine dynamics are not bad or wrong. They're actually very healthy and biologically necessary for men to feel empowered and high mental health, for women to feel safe and high mental health. These dynamics are necessary. They can be done in the right way or the wrong way. And a lot of that is attributed to a man's integrity and a woman's self-worth. So as you go into your dating life, I want you to think about, am I being in integrity with my leadership while also maintaining my truth, my power, and my needs as a man? And for the ladies, am I allowing myself to open my heart, to trust my heart to a man? And am I willing to turn on my feminine instinct to feel into whether this man is one I can trust or not? And continue to follow the one you can. So I'd love for you all to think about what masculine and feminine dynamics mean to you, what the controversial term dominant and submissive dynamics mean to you, and how this video may have enlightened you to how it can be done in a very unhealthy way and how it can be done in a very healthy way, and what you specifically need to do to create these type of dynamics in a way that's healthy for you as a man and her as a woman. Would love to hear your comments in the comment section below.